What's up, party people? It's Keys Dan with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live and in living color from the Radio What studios. And this is my podcast, What Makes You Famous? It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do I always send you? DJLittleRock.com. One more time. DJLittleRock.com. Check availability, get a free price quote, and maybe you could have me at your next event. You know I like to party with the people. The people need to be entertained. Are you not entertained? Let me entertain you. This week's shows, I will be at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas. The Video Dance Party Karaoke Jam. Yeah, I said it. Karaoke, you're the stars of the show. You pick it, I play it, you sing it, you're the star. They got a full bar, the kitchen's open, pool tables. They got a pool tournament on Friday nights over at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas. So come on out, have a good time, do some dancing, do some drinking, play some pool. Why not? That's 8 p.m. until 12:30 in the AM. If you're anywhere in the Conway, Arkansas area, come on out. I'll wait. I got time. All right. Today on the program, I got Heston Cleveland. Oh, yeah. If you've been listening to this podcast, you'll know that name. We went through his story. Man, that guy has a musical history and, musical blood in his genes. So I'm looking forward to catching up with Heston Cleveland. I got him on Skype. So let's Skype Heston Cleveland now. Bam! That man is smarter than a machine.
Oh, God, you're shoveling it.
Heston Cleveland in the house. Man, it's been a long time since we talked. Last time we talked, let me give a little recap for the people. Heston Cleveland, a very loving son to his mama, Carrie Cleveland, became her agent to revive her career and make sure that people remember and know and appreciate the music of Carrie Cleveland. But Heston Cleveland, since then, I mean, you're so much more. And I know we'll get into that, but I got to know, how's your mama doing?
She's doing great. She's doing great. We're going back into the studio for new music.
A studio for what?
New music.
New music. Okay. You're never supposed to ask a mama, a lady her age, but she's wanting to go back. A creator. They have to create. They got to keep making stuff forever and ever. You don't necessarily retire. You just, what was it? A rock star doesn't retire. They just fade away.
Yeah. She, Dan, since this all started, everybody asked, so what are you going to do? Or is there anything new coming? So, one day I asked her, I say, look, Mom, I know I jumped the gun and I got you doing things. Do you really want to do this? And she says, yeah, let's go for it. So she did a couple of shows since I last talked to you. There's something called International Record Store Day, where all the vinyl collectors go to the various independent record stores, the mom and pop stores. And we did a show in Berkeley, California. Then I could not get in the door. I got to send you I'm going to send you some pictures.
That's bad when the promoter, when the agent, when the son cannot make it into his mama's own show. That's got to feel good. That just has to feel good. And I'm sure you had a lot to do with promoting that. Did you have anybody else helping you along? Or, I mean, who was she singing all of her classic hits, or did she come up with some new things?
No. She, it was more like a meet and greet with her singing a few of her songs. I'm gonna keep it real with you. My mom is 81 years old. Now she gets around better than I do, but I can't overexert her. So we hung out for about 4 hours. Um, a lot of people came in, took pictures, bought the merch, and she sung. She did about 5 songs,
Wow.
and the guy, the owner of the record store, was Hercules Records in Berkeley.
Okay.
He has and
I lost you at the end. He's got what?
Abundant. He has a show, 89.5 FM on the radio.
Yeah.
He does a weekly old school show, and he had us come in and we did an interview over the air. And the Chronicle, San Francisco Chronicle, they came out and did an interview. And oh my God, man, it was amazing. A lot of people weren't even born when my mom first recorded it.
Well, that's just it. That's just it. Parents, we're in charge of helping to mold the music that our kids listen to. My kids listen to the 80s, the 70s, and the 80s that I grew up with. And then before that, listened to the 40s, 50s, and 60s that my mom grew up with. So you have had that musical education as well from your mom. And not only the music that she sang, but also the music that she played for you when you were growing up. So you've been molded from a long time to appreciate music and entertainment, and that's one of the reasons that you're still in this, trying to help the musicians, not just your mom. And we already went over your mom. I mean, you're a good son, making sure that your mom gets all the accolades and all the credit that she deserves for the music that she has brought out to the world. And I can't believe she's still doing it. Is she writing her own music? Do you have a group of writers that are submitting songs for her to sing? What's that process going, making new music?
Well, I asked around, all the artists I promote. I said, I would sure be nice if my mom did a song with you. So, everybody was saying, yeah, I'll do it. And one guy I met, matter of fact, him, Black Nova Entertainment.
Okay, I have him on my list.
Yeah, he reached out to me. He said, hey, man, I would love to do some music for your mom. So he put something together and sent it to me. And my mom listened to it and liked the melody. So we went to his house this past weekend.
Cool.
Yeah, he has a nice setup, really nice. My mom is comfortable with him. So she's going to learn the songs and we're going to do them.
That's fantastic. It's nice that you're in that business where you're helping to promote people. And I know that all the pop songs that come out today and really a lot of the pop songs, the collaborations, a lot of times it's a singer that's been around for a while that is singing the hook, and then maybe a rapper or somebody that collaborates, maybe a singer, a younger singer will come in. I think that's a match that's made in heaven or in Cleveland, so to speak. But I know you're not in Cleveland, Heston. You're out there in California.
I got your humor. It's really amazing. And now that people are finding out, well, your mom's coming out with new music. I wish I'd have known. I'd have wrote a song. I'm like, yeah. So I'm getting that.
People jumping on that gravy train just a little bit too late. You missed that
Yeah,
caboose. You were so late.
yeah, because my mom is like, I can only learn one song at a time. I'm like, she did a show where she forgot the words to her song.
That has
And
happened.
yeah, we laughed about it.
Well, a lot of times they got cheat sheets. I mean, before computer monitors came up, some of the singers would bring up a little sheet of their lyrics, just to kind of remind them, especially if they had sung them for a long time or they hadn't sung them in a long time. They would bring up a sheet, and then some of them would put up like even a karaoke monitor up in front of them, out of the view of the audience. Maybe like it'll look like a speaker if you were looking from the audience, but really it's got the
It's a
words right
cheat
on there.
sheet, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he has that in his studio.
Well, that's good. That helps. She knows how to sing. If the words elude her, that's fine. But she's got that voice. I mean, how's her voice holding up, and how's she keeping up with that? I've seen some kids are using this little mask. I just saw it yesterday. That one of the new singers, she's got this mask. It looks like a gas mask, and it's for helping singers to get their voice prepared to sing in a studio. How's your mama preparing to sing?
Well, she's still doing it the old school way. My mom and I, we live together and we stay in a ranch style home where my bedroom is on one end and her bedroom is on the other end. And I'll go past and her door be closed and I'll hear her singing.
Well,
And if I had to grade her 100 back in the 70s, honestly, she's about a mid 85% still there.
that's fantastic because really the production can help out with that. Whenever I'm helping like an artist that has been around the block a little bit, such as your mom, I'll put a little bit of echo on the effects, especially if they're singing live, and it kind of fills their voice out because sometimes they can't hit those high highs or those low lows, but they got the main part of the melody. It's still there. You could still feel it. And with
Yeah.
the fans, all they want to do is see your mom. And in turn, you're not only promoting her, but you're promoting other people. And I do want to get into that. You already talked about Black Nova, but that's great. And when can we expect to hear that new music from your mom? Is there a set date, or is this wing it?
We're winging it. I talked to Black Nova today. He says he's got enough songs for an EP. So I'm going to hold him there and we're going to polish up the music. I got my friend from King Pro Records. You know him too.
Oh, he was fantastic, man. It was nice talking to him. It was like talking to a living legend, like right there in front of my face. It was beautiful.
Yeah. He's going to, it's the music from Black Nova is computer generated, but Mr. Foster is going to bring in the real instruments, the horns and stuff like that.
That is something that's something that the kids are going to get blown away with, whether they know it or not. Because you can hear a synthesized horn, and anybody old school will know the difference between a synthesized horn and a regular horn, and music that was recorded digitally and music that was recorded on tape. There's different feelings to it. Here we are recording digitally, and they're going to hear part of what we say. They're not going to hear the fullness of our voices. Yeah, these things, this microphone might pick up some of my voice, and your microphone might pick up some of your voice, but it won't get the high highs. It won't get the low lows. All we can do is until you hear it live, that's that's where you get the feeling, But even playing a record, you were talking about Hercules Records there in in Berkeley, and people were bringing in their records to be signed. I guess they were getting Carrie Cleveland records, and they
Yeah,
wanted to.
and people would come with the original copy and tell me the story about how they picked it up. It was an amazing day, and I got to enjoy the stories of how people achieved the music. One guy said he bought the 45 for $1 at a flea market.
Wow, it's still
Yeah,
out
and he
there.
had my mom signed it. And I'm like, well, that's about 400 times more than the flea market price now.
Yeah, I know
You
that
know,
you reissued the original recordings, at least digitally. Did you reissue the vinyls as well?
the vinyls, the CDs.
Ooh.
That's the thing that really helps my mom out. It's not only digital; it's CDs and vinyl platform.
Yeah, some of us old folks don't know how to download an MP3. Some old folks.
Right.
I know. My mom would rather have a record or a CD. I mean, she's pretty savvy. My grandma's still kicking. She's 92, 93 years old, and she loves her music, man. She's down there in the Florida Keys, just kicking it, and loves her music. And she plays a lot of disco music. She's got that Latin flavor, and she likes her disco music. I'm sure there's a Carrie Cleveland record in my grandma's collection in there, for sure.
Floating around. Yeah, that's amazing. And then one girl met us at the radio station for the interview. She messaged me where the article came out in the Sunday in the Chronicle, and she found me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and messaged me on all three. So I messaged her back, and we started talking. And I said, "Oh, by the way, tomorrow, we're going to be in KPOO, and that's in South San Francisco." She says, "I live in San Jose. I'll meet you there." We got there, and she was standing out front holding the parking space for us. And, we hugged her and we took pictures. And she said, "Can I hang out with you guys?" So, we said, yeah. She came in, radio station. We sat in the waiting room, and she was explaining she goes back and forth to Europe and how famous my mom is there. I had a inkling of how famous she was because me being online and talking to different people. I met this one girl. She was in Germany, and I looked at the time, and I jokingly said, "What are you doing up so late looking for love?" And she laughed and she said, "How do you know what time it is here?" And I explained to her, about my mom's music. And she says, "What is your mom's name?" I said, "Carrie Cleveland." And she says, "Oh, that's your mom? She's a legend over here." And, I'm like, "Get the out of here." And she says, "Yeah, so that really made me go like, wow, really?" And we didn't really, the way independent music is now, it's hard to make money. It's really hard. The record label did all the beginning work,
Mm-hmm.
pressed up the album, the CD. I mean, Dan, the cover is elaborate, man. You open it up. It's got the biography, all kind of press shots of my father performing, and my mom, and the band. Um, he really did a lot of work,
Well,
but we didn't. we didn't make any money until, he recouped all his expenses.
Mm.
And so basically, he pretty much sold out of everything. It went like hotcakes.
Yeah.
So, I'm asking him, so are you going to make some more? He was like, well, we're going to hold off for a while. So I'm like, So that's when I got mad and started promoting it myself.
Okay, so
And
what you're saying with that experience that he made his money and then kind of got out?
well, not like that. I
Okay.
mean, don't get me wrong. Cathedral Records, he's a good guy,
Good,
man.
good.
He's all right. But I didn't know anything about the music industry.
Mm.
I used to be a DJ.
Yeah.
I messed around with a couple of rap groups, but I had no idea the business part, behind the scenes of indie versus a signed person.
Yeah. There's advantage and disadvantage to both. And you found that with Cathedral Records that you were able
Yeah.
to sell quite a few copies, but the profit had to be shared. He did a lot of the work,
Yeah.
right? Is that what it was?
Yeah, but then far as the promotion, I come to realize that if you let me, if I could get you to listen to it, you're sold.
Mm.
The problem is for me to get you to listen to it. Now, the record label, they jumped on and promoted it real hard at first, but me not understanding, he got a new artist,
Mm-hmm.
and all his energy went to the new artist,
Mm.
which I didn't understand at the time, but it's a business, and I was really disappointed. But my mom made me realize, well, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't even be where we are.
Well, I mean,
So
you've seen that movie Jerry Maguire with Tom Cruise and Cuba Gooding Jr.
yeah, yep,
It's the
yep,
same
yep.
kind of deal. You got these big companies. Yeah, they can do a lot for you, but you don't have that personal. Once they get one client, they can push them that far. Oh, I got another client. Well, I better take care of this. But then that other client, which is you got left behind a little bit. Is that where we're at?
Yeah,
Mm.
so that's what made me. Well, my mom's music is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I just went on and started, and people like you, which now that we're there, I gotta thank you, man.
Oh
I,
man.
I'm not gonna do. I'm not gonna do. I'm gonna do my best not to start crying. I really appreciate you, man. I mean,
Well, all the
you
pleasures.
you have gone above and beyond any expectation, my friend. I tell Sabrina about you, but I'll get into that when we get there.
Yeah, the pleasure's on all mine, man. Because me, I get some content on my radio station, some beautiful content, and I get people that are listening to it and just going, "Huh, that is pretty good." If I like the music, I'll play it on my radio station, and I do like the music, man, and I love it when your mom's song comes on. It makes me makes me groove, man. I love it. But
Yeah.
but continue with the Heston Cleveland. Where is he right now?
Okay. Well, I started doing pretty well with my mom's music. And I'm on Twitter all the time, and I'm looking, and well, first, people started reaching out to me. Man, we see what you're trying to do. Can I suggest something? So it was like that, where people didn't know me, went out their way to help me. So I'm looking through Twitter, and oh well, okay. I had a friend. You know him too, Rankin Screw.
Yeah, He was it was a little tough to get his because he was in Jamaica and the connection was bad. But I definitely wanted him to get some credit, man. It was the little that we got a chance to talk. It was really good, man. Rankin Screw, good guy.
Yeah. He I started, promoting him, and the numbers weren't bad. People were like, wow, Kerry Cleveland, Rankin Screw, Heston, good job. So I'm scrolling through the Twitter, and I bump into Lori Nebo. And I'm like, wow, she's kind of cute. And I hit play. And I'm like, hey, this is pretty good. So I messaged her and we started talking. I shared my mom's music. She shared more music. I shared Rankin's music. And I told her, I say, well, hey, I'm not doing bad. Send me, your music and I'll share it. So I started sharing her music and her numbers were pretty good. So one at a time, I put my mom in a Trend City radio contest, and it actually did pretty good. She won Indie Artist of the Year 2020.
Wow.
And she won Indie Artist of the Year 2021, was voted the best singer last year, voted by the fans of Trend City Radio. I figured, well, my mom might not do any more music, and I'm having fun doing what I'm doing. Let me try to help some people. So I met Sabrina. She's a Just Chat with Bree on KYBN Radio.
Mm-hmm.
And I sent her all the people I had. Well, I sent KYBN Radio all the people I had, and they suggested that I talk to her. So I started messaging different artists. Well, how would you like to, be on the radio? She does beautiful interviews, Dan. Not saying that you don't.
No.
But she, I understand you got a job and you doing all kind of stuff. So that's all she does, is online stuff. So it's easy access.
Oh no, I know what you're saying. I miss being on terrestrial radio where I would have people come into my studio and they would come and they would promote their music, and then I'd play a song, and then after the song they'd talk about the song a little bit. That was such a good time working on terrestrial radio. The advantage of that was that you got to hear the music and you got to hear a little bit about what was going on behind the music from the people themselves. But with this, I get a long form interview. I get to find out pretty much everything that's going on in Heston Cleveland's life. But yeah, tell me more about your experience with Sabrina and the interviews on radio and everything else.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I know I'm jumping back and forth. Okay. I remember I had you come on Hip Hop Stock Exchange, and I want to thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
People offer and suggest certain things. So I called in the Hip Hop Stock Exchange, and they were like, man, you can come on anytime. So I start coming on every week. The problem I had is I tried to share their radio platform with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that most people overseas are intimidated by hip hop, because the cursing and stuff. But I found out then I had the ability to put people together, because I got you to interview, I got Sabrina to interview, I got even Mark Bradley from E-Tune come on and interview.
Cool.
So With my mom's music, I feel that I'm more approachable. So all the indie artists, uh, I started helping Sabrina get people for her interviews, and then I met Snooky Blaze. She has a platform where she plays music on 3 different radio stations during the week, and she also has a television interview platform. So um, my mom says hi.
Oh, well, tell her hi, the legendary Carrie Cleveland out there. I love it.
She took off running. I knew how to get rid of
Oh, I mean, but you're talking about people all over the world. And I used to work on a bilingual radio station down in Miami where it was Spanish and English. And I had some guys that I would work with and girls that were from South America. One guy in particular said he was in El Salvador, if I'm not mistaken, and he was working on a rock and roll station, an American type rock and roll station, just playing for all these Spanish speaking people. There's niches everywhere all over the world. It's easy to find your people, your types of people when you use the internet properly. You say, hey, I'm looking for gamers. I'm looking for people that like this kind of music. I'm looking for this. But back then, I mean, shoot, the only way to do it, I go all over this country and I'll go to a club and wow, they're playing salsa music over there. Hey, look at that. Calypso music. What? Oh, those African drums over there? What is that? Scottish over here? I mean, people love music. And if they get disco music for the first time in a country that's never had disco music or R&B music or hip hop music, I've never had this before. Well, at first they might look at it apprehensive, but then, it's the kids. The kids are going to be the ones that really get into it. That's the ones that are going to listen to that hip hop and go, huh, this is new. And my mom and dad doesn't like it that much. I'm gonna give this another. I'm gonna give this another try.
That's another thing. I put my mom's music is heavy on a hip hop oriented station, Trend City.
Mm.
And that's what made it so amazing. Classic soul, timeless music. And people love the story. It's bigger than the music, it's just a story. How my mom stopped singing and we got rediscovered, and the only thing that's missing is my father.
Mm.
I do this all for him. If you knew him, you would understand why I am the way I am.
Well, what you learned from your dad? I mean, what did he? How old were you when he passed away, and what did you glean from him?
31.
31.
I was 31.
Okay, but I mean, hardworking man. I mean, what did he do that you learned from?
His real paid job, he was a probation officer.
Mm-hmm.
But he really loved music. They formed a band called the Creative Set. They toured around the Bay Area, up and down California. He built a studio in the garage where he had the likes of Lenny Williams, In Vogue, Tower Power, Pete Escovedo, Sheila Escovedo. He was pretty well known,
I would say these are heavy hitters that are coming through the garage.
Yeah. I took everything for granted. When I finally realized about how good they were, they auditioned at this old historic hotel called the Claremont. It's in the Berkeley Hills.
Mm.
It looks like a big white castle on the side of the hill. They had auditions all weekend, and my father set up the PA system. So, we Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we were there. And, I could stand the music. They were all pretty good. But then in the back of my mind, I'm like, they not going to get it.
Well, I mean, you said you were a DJ and you dabbled a little bit with the rapping, with the hip hopping,
Yeah.
and all those music, all that Tower of Power, and all that music that you're talking about, even your mom's music. That's the stuff that we were sampling. We called it sampling, but really it was kind of stealing their beats, stealing their music to make something new, so we can rap over it. That's what we were doing back in the early '80s, late '70s, early '80s, and even into the mid '80s till we got caught. And they put a stop to it. But you were sampling that kind of music, so whether you liked it or not, that was the base for what hip hop has become.
Yeah. And they played all that weekend, and I'm in the back of my mind, they not gonna get it. So I'm running through the house. I ran home and I got my clothes. I'm going to track practice, and my father stopped me. He said, "So what you doing this weekend?" I'm like, "Why?" He says, "We got the job."
Ooh.
And I'm like, "Get out of here." I'm like, "Oh my God, you guys were that good," And a few artists have reached out to me. Can we sample your mom's music? You play one also. Love Me by Keith Phelps.
Mm.
He sampled Take a Moment and played that, and it was a hit.
Yeah.
It's crazy. My platform is building up. I don't even know how many artists I do. I lost count a long time ago.
Well, I mean, that's what makes something old into something new. You find something that, a kid's going to listen to. Well, I mean, will they pick up a 45 record? Maybe not. Maybe they'll go to Apple iTunes or Spotify and try to listen to some music that maybe they hadn't listened before. Or maybe their mom will turn them on to it. Maybe their grandma will turn them on to it. And they'll find something that they can use. Man, because those old grooves, there's a reason why Beethoven and Tchaikovsky is still around, man, because they knew how to write music. And there's a reason why you still listen to the music from the 70s, because they knew how to write music. 50s, 60s, 70s. I mean, music is eternal. Once it becomes a hit, an earworm, it could last forever. I mean, you're making sure that your mom's music lasts forever, and even the other people that you work with, making sure that they get the proper credit that they get. And it amazes me how you could turn this into this passion that you love. You were already doing it, practically for free. How can you turn that into a business? Heston Cleveland, how are you turning this love of promoting other people into a business?
I'm still trying to establish that. My platform is really growing. These guys called the Music Doctors reached out to me because I submit music. Everything I submit to you, I submit to a bunch of radio stations, and they're like, "Hey, this guy is pushing out some good music." So they asked me to be on their panel. So Monday will be the third Monday I'm on there. I still really haven't put it in writing yet, but the people who appreciate what I'm doing, they send my Cash App and PayPal rings.
Good.
Um, uh, Sam Archer texted me the other night. Hey, is your Cash App still the same? I'm like, yeah. And then ding, oh, thank you.
That's fantastic, man. I don't know how you know that you put in all this effort. You put in all this blood, sweat, and tears to help other people, and I'm glad that they're showing you some love in return in the form of payment, because appreciation doesn't pay the rent. It's kind of tough, but you're making what you love into a business, and it amazes me. I mean, I started doing radio back in '86. And I was working in college. I didn't make any money back then. And really, only a handful of people make money on the radio. There's only maybe 5, maybe 10 people that you could say make millions of dollars working on the radio. Most of the time, it's a regular, $10 an hour job. But the thing that you get is notoriety. What you get is the people that go, hey, I like his voice. I like his attitude on the radio. Maybe I'll have him do my daughter's wedding or my kid's birthday party on the weekend. That's where you make a little bit of money, okay? And I know you've done some of the DJing thing as well, but you're promoting, you're promoting other people. Do you have a company name? Is it under Heston Cleveland, or you have a company that you're working under that you formed?
East Oakland Music Management.
I like. It's where you're from.
If you hashtag that on Instagram, you're gonna go, wow.
It's your roots. It's where you're from. It's where you grew up. It's where you are now, right?
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, we're still in the vicinity, but not for say Oakland. But my root, like you said, my roots are there.
Yeah.
I got a few friends that still live there that are musicians.
Well, I mean, now that we're going through it, tell people about the people that you're promoting, and do they have any shows coming up, or how are you helping them to get to the next level? Because everybody starts off on a certain level, but once they get to Heston Cleveland, how do you put them to the next level?
Well, the next show I have is my mom on the 27th of this month. We're going to be at Miss T's Vintage Record and Vinyl. That's downtown Oakland, 19th and Broadway. And after that, we're going to be at Streetlight Records on International Record Store Day. And I'm having a couple of other artists come along.
Like who? Who? Can you tell, or is it a secret?
Oh, no. Naru, you know him.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be there. Black Nova's going to be there. Rankin Screw, Keenan Foster, Christina Bennett, K. Poo Shamir. He's based out of LA. That's about it right now. But far as artist development, I do that. I help them with their bio. I submit their music to various radio stations. I get them seen. That's my strong point. I submit the music, and people like you tag their music and they see it on Twitter. I had one guy, man, Cleveland, every time I come on Twitter, I see your mom's logo flying across. I'm like, thank you. I do it, I do quite a bit of exposure. That's my main thing. Exposure. I help them set up for submissions, MP3 and artwork. And it was explained to me, Heston, We get thousands of submissions every week. I don't have time to be looking at, okay, this part is the artwork, this part is the MP3. Give it to me easy and I'll play it.
Yeah, it's kind of tough sometimes because I do get the emails. You have the artist space dash space and then the song. That's the easiest way to put it out there. But I do appreciate when I open up my email and I see one from Heston Cleveland. Usually it's 2 or 3 that are coming from Heston Cleveland from different artists because you're working, you're doing the job. And I thought I had a long hashtag with hashtag what makes you famous. You got a long hashtag East Oakland Music Management. I mean, I just looked up that hashtag. It's all over the place, man. You're using it and you're helping other people by, letting them find, all kinds of different, because the people that you even said that are coming up on that show are not just one type of artist. The people that show up to that, they might come in for Rankin Screw. They might come in for, for Christina Bennett, or they might come in for Black Nova. But then they're going to go, let me stay for that other show. And they're going to get turned on to some different music. That's how you're putting people together. They might have come for Carrie Cleveland, but they're going to leave with like all different types of music running through their heads, making them feel different kinds of ways. Oh, I appreciate that. I appreciate what you're doing.
As a matter of fact, I sent you, I think, 3 today.
See, I got to go through my email, and this is me. What I do when I make sure that I name it properly. Once again, artist space dash space, and then the song, and at the end I'll put their Twitter handle, so that way whenever I put it on my radio station, it kind of tweets them, and it gives them a little love, and then they can go, somebody's playing my music, and then maybe they'll give a retweet, and then they'll tell 2 friends, and they'll tell 2 friends, and it just keeps growing and growing. I love it.
Yeah, that builds up your platform too.
In turn, that's what happens. When we help each other, we help ourselves. Once you take care of yourself and you're straight, you try to help somebody else. That's what radio is all about. Talk about promotions. I got into radio not to be rich. Maybe you make a living. That's possible. But mostly it's helping other people. When you turn the radio station on, you hear a song or whatever, but you're getting some information. And most of the time you're getting information about people all over all over your neighborhood, whether it be the car company or the mom and pop restaurant down the street. Maybe you'll hear a big shop commercial, but a lot of times you'll hear little commercials about what's going on in your neighborhood. That's the power of radio. You turn that knob on and promoting people. Yeah. That makes you feel good. Is you're helping other people out. Heston Cleveland, you say that I'm great, man. It's great to know you. Ever since we've met, I felt good, knowing you. You're a good person. But beyond everything else, just the fact that you love your mom so much, that says something about you. You live in the same house, and it's a good house. It's a good situation because your bedroom's on one side and her bedroom's on the other side. And if you don't want to bother each other, you don't have to bother each other. That's a good situation. But tell me about the people that you're promoting, that, you can give shout outs to people that have helped you along the way as we wind this thing down, and tell people, how to get a hold of you. I guess that hashtag East Oakland Music Management is a great way to find out what you're doing. But where do you want people to get a hold of you if they're new artists, or if they want to hire your new artist?
Well, my Twitter handle is @Cleveland Heston. My Instagram is Heston Cleveland. My email is HestonCleveland5@gmail. My Facebook is Heston Cleveland. And the artist that really picked me up, I got to give a shout out. Sam Archer, Nadira Noorjahan, Gwendolyn Collins, Lori Nebo, Snooky Blaze, Keenan the Maestro Foster, Black Nova, Naru Kwana, uh, uh,
I got to give it. I got to give it up to.
I lost the,
Well, I got to give it up to Naru Quina too. He was great to talk to. That man's got his fingers in a lot of different pots. He likes to create, and my goodness,
yeah,
teaching people with his hip hop, teaching people how to drive. Even that's fantastic, man. What a
yeah,
great idea.
yeah. And I've known him for quite some time. Uh, oh, uh, Brian Dyer, Brian Baseman, uh, BD, nice guy, really nice guy. He's I want to say a jazzy rhythm and blues type guy that also went on tour with a couple of acapella groups. I used to call him B. Where you at? I'm in Germany. What? Yeah, I'm on tour. Wow, um, Rankin Screw, Sonny Cole. Unfortunately, Toy Musically
Yeah.
recently passed, man. That
Oh.
and I used to always ask, can you make a friend online and not talk to him? When her sister called me, I cried like baby, man. I cried. I still hurt.
Yeah.
I miss talking to her. I would text her 3, 4 times a day. If I didn't see her handle, go scroll through, I go and check on her. Hey, buddy, where you at? It really hurt me. So when I don't see, like, if I don't see you, I go and look for you. Hey, man, how you doing? You know, um, I met a lot of people on Twitter who I could call friends.
Yeah.
You know, and I can't thank you enough for all your support. I mean, this is my third interview with you. I'm like, well, I'm bugging the mess out of Dan. I better slow down. But you always greet me. You know, I love the Twitter community. I'm learning Instagram community. Online music is my life, and I'm having a great time. Um, I'm loving seeing my mom enjoy what's going on. She doesn't understand social media. So when we go to a record store, I'll call them because I still have a few original copies.
Oh.
So I'll call them up. Well, I got an original copy I want to get rid of. Are you interested? Sure, Heston, bring it down. And we'll go, and the people will be staring at her. And she'll go, why are they looking at me like that? I'm like, Ma, you're a star.
Yeah, she's
You're
got to be used to it from years ago. I mean, when she was running around in the 70s in her heyday, people had to be chasing her around, looking at her, wanting to get pictures, wanting to touch her, wanting to, maybe get a piece of her clothing or something, a souvenir to take home. A star, a person that makes you feel with her music. Oh, man, you just want to be a part of that.
And I'm learning that. I think her fanfare is bigger now than it was then. We've been on a couple of news stations, and it was funny. We took my stepfather before he passed to get his blood drawn, and the lobotomist. I walked in. My mom wasn't in the area. She goes, "Wait a minute, baby. I know you." And she looked at me and she said, "Where your mama at?" And my mom came around the corner. They had the whole hospital going crazy. I'm like, wow, Mom. And she'll be talking on the phone with her friends. And she go, what are those people called? I'm like, they're fans, Mama. My
Yeah.
mom is so innocent, man. It's funny,
That's the,
but I'm enjoying seeing her enjoy what's going on. So my main thing, what I want to try to do, is to get a biopic
Mm.
of the story of her life and her comeback. The only thing that's missing for this to end properly is a big show. I would just love to have her go out like that, because I mean, she's 81 years old. I don't want to have her traveling too much. Maybe one or two more shows, or a big one. We have been offered to go to Italy. This was before the pandemic,
mm.
and a guy reached out to me on Facebook saying, "Man, I'm trying to put together something here in Europe, and I would love to send for you and your mom to come out and do a show."
Well, I mean,
So
you definitely have to be in some kind of a shape. Your mom's got to, exercise, get her wind back up, get her stamina back up, because that takes a lot out of a person. I think maybe, sometimes the smaller shows might be better. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, I was a young pup. I had 70,000 fans in front of me, while I'm playing. It wasn't just my show, but there was, it was like a big old show. And, you have all these people, but it still takes a lot out of you. All the lights, all the screams, all the bodies, the energy that comes at you. Maybe under 50, 50 people in the room might be a little better, for your mom's well-being, for her health.
right, well, that's what we doing the record stores
Yeah.
for. It's an intimate crowd, like you say, about 50, 60 people.
And you could film it. I mean, are you filming it for a
Oh
documentary,
yeah,
maybe?
yeah. She's got stuff on YouTube with her performing.
Yeah. I mean, some of
Um,
this stuff can be piled up together, and you could make a whole documentary all about, the Carrie Cleveland story. How about that?
that's a thought. That is a good thought.
I think we talked about that before. I'm
Yeah,
wondering, where's that going? Because that's a lot of times. I get older. I used to watch a lot of movies and scary things and action movies, and now what do? Flip through documentaries, behind the music, find out what's going on. Oh, look, there's one of my favorite bands. Let me find out more about them. Or, a documentary on World War II or whatever. But I'd love to see the Carrie Cleveland story, directed by or produced by Heston Cleveland.
that would be beautiful. I have to admit, Toon Bubble,
Mm-hmm.
they told me we want to do an interview after your mom's show. So I pieced together the videos and the press clippings, the snapshots, and they put together a nice article.
Nice.
I had her getting her hair done. Her hairdresser is Diamond Ken. He used to be on tour with MC Hammer. He was Hammer's hairstylist. And
Before
he said,
or after Tupac? Before or after Tupac?
before and during.
So it was humps and a bump.
Hammer.
Humps and a bump. Humps.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Before that, he was there when they got it started. Let's get it started. He said, get a wig and we'll have her look just like she used to.
Mm.
And he did a miracle. I'm like, there's no way he's going to fix that wig, but he did it. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to February 27th at Miss T's Vintage Records, downtown Oakland, 19th and Broadway.
Taking it back to Oakland, baby. That's where it all started. That's the roots. And that's the East Oakland Management, East Oakland Music Management hashtag.
Yeah, yeah,
That's where you'll find Heston Cleveland, man. You're talking about a lot of fun. It's always a lot of fun to talk to you, man. I get my little notes in my not only in my email, but also you take the time out to send me a message, make sure that I got all the news of the day up to date, that I got the right music in my ears, because Heston will send me a note. Hey, make sure you know about Kerry Cleveland. Make sure you know about Trent City Radio. Make sure you know that what I'm doing over here on KYBN. Make sure you always have a note for me. Make sure that I know what's going on in your world. And I know that it's not just me. I mean, I could think, I could be all conceited and think that you're just giving that information to me, but you're spreading that to the world, man. So you're doing the job, and I'm glad, that you're getting some benefit in the form of money. Accolades are great. Cleveland, you're great. Heston Cleveland, you're awesome. But, throw a little Cash App money in if you did something, to promote me or help me out. That,
yeah,
throw a little PayPal my way. I made sure that more ears were listening to that music that you made. Maybe you get a little love, right?
yeah. It works out. I get the accolades, and then I have my group that sends stuff like Lori Nebo. She's the best. She'll inbox me. Hey, buddy, I sent you some cheddar.
She's great. Oh my goodness, I love her music, and she's a good follow on Twitter too. Good job.
Yeah, and her personality is amazing. That's the thing about this what we do. I meet I meet so many genuine people, and first of all, we all have one thing in common, if not nothing else, the love of music, and I listen to all genres. This girl, I think I sent you her music, Erica Brighthill. She messaged me on Instagram, and she says, Heston, I see you promote various artists. Can you tell me what you think about this song? Then she went, I'm sorry to disturb you. I'm like, no, I'll listen to it.
Yeah, the
And I
Still
like,
Small Voice song.
yeah, right. You know it, right, right.
Bro, that's, you got at least one more ear. So if Erica Brighthill was listening, hey, Heston Cleveland, he's doing it. He's doing the work. I love it. He's putting your music out there. And you got one more fan, Erica Brighthill, because of Heston. Good job.
Yeah. She thanked me today. Snooky played her music, and I was able to catch the tag, and I Shazammed it so the artwork came up, and I tagged her on Instagram, and she came right back and thanked me. Um, all the artists I do know about you, Keys Dan. So I'm very appreciative to you, my friend. You're the best, man. I wouldn't be who I would be without people like you.
Well, you keep on
And I say
tagging me,
that
and I'll keep
sincerely.
retweeting you. You tag my radio what twit, and I will retweet you every time, man. I love it.
Yeah.
It's a good relationship, man. We try to build each other up. I guess this is a good way to wind this thing down. You got any last words for the people? Stuff that's been in your mind, or last things you got to say. You can give a couple more shout outs if you want, or you could just wind this thing down with last words for the people. Heston Cleveland.
Well, I shouted out a lot of artists. Let me shout out a few radio stations. Crack Radio, uh, Radio What, or What Radio, uh, KYBN Radio, Just Chat with Bree, Snooky Blaze, Radioactive, uh, CBJ Radio, and Mother and Daughters production. Trend City Radio, Track Talk Radio, Bill Tour Radio, Radio STFC, and all the listeners. Gotta thank the listeners because we wouldn't have a platform without them. And of course, I got to thank the man Keys Dan.
Oh my goodness, there you have it, party people. Heston Cleveland. That man, there's a lot of love there. There's a lot of love. Not just the love for his mom, but love for music, love for people, love to make sure that new artists and independent artists get their voices heard. You know, they're putting this music out for you. You know, some of them put it out for the love. Maybe they don't expect it to go far. Maybe they want it to go far. I mean, people put these things out there, and hopefully somebody's going to like it. So Heston Cleveland's going to give the chance to those people, or help to give the chance to those people to get that music heard. And my goodness, that's amazing that Carrie Cleveland, Heston Cleveland's mom, is going to put out some more music. I can't believe it. It's unbelievable. But the creators got to create. The musicians got to play. The singers got to sing. Artists got to art. You know, just like I don't ever expect to retire. I think I'll be speaking into microphones till my last breath. I might be, I wanted to talk a little bit more. But I'm glad there's people like Heston Cleveland out there. Always good to talk to Heston Cleveland. And I encourage you to look him up. Find that long hashtag East Oakland Music Management. It's so good. You know, it's your own hashtag. He's got it out there, and it helps people to connect with each other through that community, the East Oakland Music Management. So Heston Cleveland, I hope you go far. I know that you're going to do so much for people, but I hope that it becomes lucrative and it becomes a way for you to sustain yourself and keep the rent paid, keep that food on the plate. Because it's nice that we do it for the love, but it's nice that we may make a living at it. It's only a few people that can do it. But if you have the passion, you have the desire, and you keep on grinding, you'll get it. Thank you, Heston Cleveland, for being on the What Makes You Famous podcast once again. I appreciate it so much. Now, if you, yes, you, I'm turning my attention to you, would like to tell your story, I encourage you to give me a call, 501-470-6386, or email keysdan@aol.com. That's it for this edition of What Makes You Famous. It's Keys Dan, RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.